joining us again. In this video, we were going to talk about the initial pros and cons that we've discovered in the past week since we set these up. So the first one is the initial cost. With the GreenStalk, it was $200. That included the dolly. The tower garden ranges from $600 to $1,000, depending on if you get like a tomato cage, so any viney plants can grow up. If you get dolly to move the tower garden around, which I would definitely recommend because 20 gallons of water is pretty heavy. And lights, if you're going to be having the planter inside. The next thing I noticed when we were putting the plants inside the containers is that it's a lot faster to put the plants inside the GreenStalk, because you literally go to the nursery, you buy the plants, you take them out of the containers, you put them in. With the tower garden, you have, if you're getting them where they're still growing in dirt from the nursery, you have to rinse them off really well because you don't want dirt in there, and then put them in a net pot with the medium that they hang out in, and that helps supports them. So that took more time. The other option is you can actually put the seeds right in and let them grow organically in that way.
So another important difference between the two is the nutrition, the nutrients. In an aeroponics, since they live in water, they need a special kind of solution to provide the nutrients flowing through each of the plants. The company that makes the tower garden provides those solutions, and they run about $40 plus 20 shipping. And depending on the season, depending on the plants, you could expect to replace those every couple of months, possibly even once a month, depending. Whereas it's a lot less expensive with the GreenStalk because the only nutrients we put in here were earthworm casings, which is a natural fertilizer. And we got a big cubic foot bag for $20, and we used just a fraction of that to fill this up. And you don't need to keep doing that unless you perhaps replant. So from the nutrient perspective, it's a lot easier to deal with. The earth stock, it's a lot less expensive. Watering is another big thing with the two systems. With the tower garden, there's a timer that continuously feeds water throughout the system. So that every 15 minutes, water flows up and down through the tower. And you will need to periodically fill up a 20-gallon tank, which is the reservoir that water flows from. Once again, depending on how thirsty your plants are, it could be a week or two when you need to refill it. When it gets half empty, you fill it back up. With the GreenStalk, you actually do need to fill it up more often. It has a smaller reservoir up top where you fill it up, and then it gradually filters the water down into each of the different ports. And in the current weather, we live in a dry desert climate, so we don't get a lot of rain. Every other day we are needing to fill the top part. We are experimenting with irrigation because we're lazy. We want to see if that will work. Having a drip irrigation every day provides some of the water. And we'll let you know in a future video if that is successful. We might find just the right combination of water that needs to go through that will allow us to skip that step. But otherwise, for us, it's every other day.
Next, with the tower garden, because it's in water, you have to manage the pH balance. That's not a big deal. It's like in the pools or fish tank. You just test it and you add some chemicals to help offset that and keep everything in balance. It makes the plants happier. Then the number of ports. This one, the GreenStalk, we have 30 places to plant your vegetables or whatever plants. The tower garden in its basic one comes with 20. You can pay more and have a couple more of these sections, and each of the sections has 4 plants or 4 quarts. Lastly, what I think, because we used to have this tower garden inside, and it was wonderful as far as it did grow a whole bunch of vegetables, and it was not very messy. After dealing with the dirt one, I would, if you're going to be growing inside, get the light and get a aeroponics garden, because it's a lot cleaner with just the water and then with the dirt. Although, if you're really careful and you've got the floor tiled and you've got things down to protect the floor, you can also do this one too, or a dirt vertical garden. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to talk more about what you have to do with the watering of the tower garden, because there is some other special things with that. Thanks. Bye-bye.